few nervous. I'm glad my skirt's covering my knees. We're just so absolutely blessed to be here tonight. Absolutely blessed, huh? And they told us last night that we weren't supposed to say, I want to think this, I want to do that, and I'm just going to take a few minutes. But he also told us why go with our show so we can do what we want. So I want to say that Woody and I are here tonight, not because of anything we've really done. We just have, it starts with God. We're here because of God. And we've been blessed by a wonderful family, which is over here. Come on, children, grandchildren. This is only part of our crew, but, and my little Sethy down there. His dream is to have Grandpa take him to McDonald's. I think we can accomplish that this weekend. But we're here because we found prepaid legal. Was introduced to us by a total strange lady that at the time was sleeping in her car, and had she not shared prepaid legal with us, we probably would have been sleeping in our car shortly because we were flat broke and our house is in foreclosure. Some of you know that story. You've read it. But we were blessed that evening that she shared it, and we grabbed that opportunity. And then we were blessed that we met the Stone Ciphers and all of these, a lot of these people down here. Back in those days, not all of them were there, but some of them were. Larry and Mary Kingman, buddies forever. And just so many of you. Dave Roller. And we've been through the war, huh? But we've won it. Don't you say?
That's right.
Harlan and Shirley Stone Cipher, Wilburn and Carol, all of our team. We didn't do this. We just were blessed that we found good people. And you want to be successful, find people better than you are. And as Woody says, that hadn't been hard for us. But I want to talk to you about a few minutes about opportunity. You're all here because you seized an opportunity. Is that right? Yes. What you do with that opportunity when you leave this convention will make all the difference in the world and what happens to you in your future. You can take it and go with it, or you can just use this excitement that's here today and go, wow, we had fun, and gosh, what was that we did last month? Take this home and use it. I wish we could bottle it. Wouldn't that be wonderful if we could bottle this weekend and the excitement? Because you can't feel it unless you're here. But the neat thing is, I want to talk to you young people. There's so many young people that I watched walk across this stage and thought, gosh, when I was that age, I didn't even dream that anything like this company would ever happen to me. When I was that age, I was single with 6 children. And then Woody came into my life. And then I had 7 children. And I'm still trying to train him. He's untrainable.
I speak next.
I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I tried to get him to come up on the stage a while ago, and he said, no. It took Steve Petroff to just force him. So he's still not obeying. I love him anyway. But you young people, take a look around. You're the next generation of prepaid legal. Do you want to be a part of the growth in your century and you're in the next generation? Do you? Do you? Then don't just sit around and dream about this. Take a look around. A lot of us are up here have, you can tell the ones that aren't going to be here too many more years, we have trouble getting up and down these stairs. Do you notice the young people, how they just kind of run down those stairs? I go, gosh, I remember that. I wish I could do that again. There's a lot of opportunity in prepaid legal for all ages. Those of you that are like my age, if there are ladies here tonight that are my age, I started this business at 50. Did I have an opportunity? Did anybody hold me back? No. That song, if it is to be, it's up to me. If it is to be, it's up to you. No matter what age you are, no matter what your background is, take this opportunity tonight and do whatever You dream with it because it's yours for the taking, each and every single one of you. So no matter what our age is, if you young people, you're going to be our next generation. We want to make sure you do a good job. So we're going to be around to coach you or whatever we can to help you get along. Those of you that are our age or my age, I'm older than Woody, but those of you that are my age, nobody's going to tell you you can't work prepaid any longer because you're too old. They're not going to cut your hours down because you're ready for retirement or that they can't afford to pay you your medical plans. You can afford to pay your own medical plans with prepaid legal. You can afford your own retirement with prepaid legal. And nobody's ever going to stop you except you. So I encourage each and every one of you to take this, go home and shout to from the top of the rooftops of every place you can go about prepaid legal and share it because there's so many people that are looking for prepaid legal. And opportunity is in every corner of the world. We've been home and haven't been able to work very much. But Woody needed a new mattress that he couldn't sleep with the one he was on. So we called the hospital company out, and the guy brought out a mattress. And Woody we now have mattress can travel. It's one that we can roll up and take with us and take it there and inflate it so we can go anywhere that he's able to go now. And that's great. But the young man was telling me how he had just gone through life and never had an opportunity to excel in anything and this and that. So guess what? He's our newest recruit, and he's home now wishing we were there to help run with him. And I'm going to run with him like crazy when I get home. So don't miss the opportunity to share this with everyone you know. And Woody told me to not get up here and talk too long, so I'm going to leave it at you. Take this and run with it. Is that a deal? I'd like to have you pay special attention to the story that Woody's going to tell. So now I'd like you to give a big warm welcome for my husband, my business partner, and tonight he's my very best friend. Sometimes he isn't, but today he is.
Thank you. I just hope this is being taped so I can play that back to her every once in a while so she can hear it. But before I start, I want to really thank our organization. And I want to thank each and every one of you that are in this room. And I want to thank all of you that's been saying prayers and sent cards to us. And I want to thank Wilburn, Harlan, and Shirley Stonecipher, because without all of you and them, I would not be here tonight. Thank you. But for what we've gone through for the last 9 months, I'm on a crusade. I'm on a mission. And y'all better get on that mission along with me. And you better not, because let me tell you, most of the time I do these talks at the end, at the close of an opportunity meeting. And you know what I tell them? You might as well just lock the doors because ain't nobody leaving until they sign up, period. And you better have that attitude. And they better come in this business because there's not one person out there that doesn't need this membership. There's not one person out there that doesn't need to come in this business. So I'm going to share a story with you that'll get that point across. And you make your own decision. And I hope I can motivate some of you to get a little sense of urgency. Some of you have been procrastinating. You know who you are? Well, why procrastinate? Why not get what you want tomorrow instead of waiting? In fact, I just come up with something. I just wrote it down. I thought it was pretty profane. Maybe somebody else wrote it before me. But you know, what you're going to do tomorrow is not what's going to build your prepaid legal business. It's what you do today. It's what's going to build your prepaid legal business.
Right. That's right.
As I said, I do a lot of these talks into opportunity meetings, and I'm going to call out some different types of people. And if you fit in that category, I want you all to listen real close. The first category is the ones that's not in the business and don't own a membership yet, and they work at a regular job, or maybe they have their own little business, or maybe they're just in sales. Y'all need to listen to this story here in just a minute. This is also for you prepaid legal associates that had enough sense to get in the business but didn't have enough sense to get started. And to get some sense of urgency, this is for you. This is also for people that just out selling. It's not building a business, and that's fine. If you want to sell, go sell. But you better recruit you some network marketing people, or you're going to, and I'm going to point out the story here, or maybe get across to you here in just a minute. You want to do it all. But let's say that you all have gone through life, never been sick, get very few colds, hadn't been in a hospital, never had any problems. But then one day, you start getting a little pain in your leg. And it's not bad, but you think, well, you bumped your leg, you bumped the muscle, and it's just bruised the muscle. So you don't think much of it. But over the next month and a half, it starts getting a little bit worse. Then all of a sudden, your wife makes you an appointment to go see a doctor, your spouse. So you go to the doctor, and I'm just going to shorten this. The doctor comes out and he tells you that you have level 4 cancer with a baseball-sized tumor in your kidney that has metastasized out and gone into your leg and ate up part of your bone in your left thigh. And by the way, he tells you that you're not going to be able to work anymore. At the same time, he lets you know that if your spouse is working, they're probably going to have to quit work and stay home and take care of you. What would a lot of you do in a position like that, or non-associates? It'd be pretty devastating, wouldn't it? I mean, it's devastating enough to have this problem, but now you got to worry about financial, because you have no income coming in because you're not out doing something. Fran was able to tell the doctor that, the financial part is not one of our problems. Because we chose several years ago. Because we chose several years ago to spend our time building a prepaid legal business. If that happened to most of you that haven't really built your business yet, that couldn't survive on the income from your downline, what would you do? You couldn't go out and do it on your own. And if your downline hadn't been strong enough and built up enough yet, you're not going to have the income to be able to survive. But see, that wasn't one of our problems. And I thought that was pretty nice. Now, I don't tell this story because I don't want anyone in here to feel sorry for me. You don't need to feel sorry for me. We've been able to see and do things and live a lifestyle that most people live their whole life just dreaming of that's never able to attain it because of prepaid legal services. But that's not just it. If the worst thing does happen tomorrow, I don't have to worry about my wife being taken care of. She's going to have that income. Not only that, she's going to be building a business because, to be quite frank with you, she's the one that's done 90% of the recruiting and prospecting. I mean, I'll just tell you that right now. So that's not one of our problems. So I'm not worried about if things don't really work out good. I've got a wife that's been my dream for 34 years. Everything hadn't always been perfect, but let me tell you, it's been my dream for 34 years we've been together. I've got a great family. I've been able to see and do all these things. There's nothing to worry about, except if he wants me, after they told me that new comp plan Thursday night, he's got a fight on his hands because I ain't going nowhere for a while. I mean, he's going to have to put on some boxing gloves. And I can also tell you the fat lady ain't singing yet. Now, her vocal cords are quivering, but she ain't singing. But now part of this story is for the membership. I can't imagine anyone. And I'm going to tell you, every one of you that have loved ones that you have not approached about this membership, you better go approach them in the next few days. And for those of you that approach some that turn you down, you need to go back. And for all of them to tell you no, as far as I'm concerned, you need to camp out on their doorstep until they say yes. Because one of these days, if you don't, you're going to feel bad and feel awful sorry. They will too, because they will have needed that prepaid legal membership, and you didn't say something to get it in their hands. That's the way I feel about it. You see, when we went through all of this, I had to go into the hospital. I had to go in for some surgery. They had to drill out my thigh bone from my knee to my hip and put a steel rod in there, and when they did it, the cancer had doubled the size and ate about that much of the bone away. But they finished it. Well, when I come out of surgery, and I didn't know this because I was still out, Fran was all upset because they said they were sending me home as soon as I woke up. Now, I just had that surgery, and I'm going to tell you, I could not move my leg one way or the other. The pain was excruciating. I mean, it was bad. And so she was all upset, didn't know what we were going to do. Our daughter had to tell her, we have an attorney, call him.
She did.
And she did. And let me tell you, we got some good advice. You see, they know what most companies are supposed to do for you. You don't. Bet you haven't read your policy, and if you did, I bet you didn't understand it. And so he gave her some advice. So she got a hold of somebody, did something. Guess what? I didn't go home. I stayed in the hospital. Now, if you were someone that wasn't in a prepaid legal business, or you're an associate that hadn't gotten started, or you didn't own a membership, and you'd been out of work for 3 or 4 or 5 months, and you were broke, and let me tell you, you would probably end up losing everything that you had tried to accumulate your whole life if you weren't in this business and built something like that. I had a good thought, and it went away. You start chasing rabbits, you can't get back on the road. You know, they say the mind's the second thing to go. What was that first thing again?
HMOs.
Huh?
HMOs.
But anyway, we had an HMO. And I'll bet most of you in this room have an HMO. And I'm going to tell you something. I hear most of you complain about your HMOs every day. Well, guess what? Because we were able to get some legal advice, because they know what they have to do and what they don't. And we were able to get a little aggressive. I'm very happy with our HMO because they've done everything they're supposed to do. But what about you? Oh, what I was going to say, if you had been out of work all that time and you were broke and didn't have a prepaid legal membership, what would you have done when they said, I'm sending you home? Do you think somebody you know that doesn't own that membership could afford to get on the phone to call an attorney to get some advice at that point? Would they know who to call if they even had the money? No. You better make sure everyone has this membership. What it'll do for you. And I stayed in the hospital for 3 days. And finally, the third day, they started doing a little bit of physical therapy. Well, the physical therapy was getting me up out of bed, and I passed out. I couldn't get up. I couldn't move. I couldn't get on crutches. I couldn't get in a wheelchair. Doctor came in at noon and said, I'm going to have you out of here and home by noon. They also said they weren't going to send an ambulance to send me home. Well, how am I supposed to get home? How can I even get down to the car? But you know what? She did some more talking. And when he came back, you know what I told him? I ain't going anywhere. I am not going nowhere unless you all have an ambulance to take me, period. He went back and talked to some people in the insurance company and that. Guess what? I stayed in that hospital that night. I wasn't sent home. How powerful is that? Does that mean anything? I want to tell you what, it meant a lot in my life. Then he said the next day they're going to send an ambulance by to pick us up to send us over to rehab. He's going to send an ambulance. This time. I went over to rehab, and I was in rehab for 7 days. And by the way, they sent an ambulance to take me home. Most people you know, what do you think would have happened to them? You want to talk about quality of life? I want to guarantee you that makes a big difference in your life, being able to have that access. And you better talk to everyone about this membership. You better talk to everyone about this business. And don't let them say no. Don't let that happen to them, because there's not one of you or anyone out there that knows what tomorrow's going to bring. And if you're out there just pilling around, you better get after it. Get after it right now so you can build up something in case this happens to you tomorrow. Because something's going to happen. And it's entirely up to you how you decide that you want to live your life. But then a lot of people say, well, you know, that's easy for Fran and Woody because, you know, we're just good. We know how to work this business. Well, I'm going to show you here in just a minute how bad we are. Matter of fact, I challenge any person in this room, I challenge you to be as bad as we've been. And I'll bet you can't do it. I challenge you. We started new January 1993. Started new in this business again. That's all I'm going to talk about is since then. Over the last 6 years, we have personally prospected only about 255 people. That's less than one a week. Is that working hard? Do y'all think you can at least do that? Do y'all think you can do that? Because if you don't, what are you doing here? But we were so good out of those 200 and something that we prospected, only 80 of them signed up. How bad is that? Means 170 of them told us no. I bet you can't be that bad. I challenge you, go try it next week. We didn't have the brick. We didn't have the audio tapes, the videotapes. We didn't have all the newspaper articles, magazine articles. We didn't have all this stuff. We didn't have TBN that brings opportunity meetings right inside your front room.
Yeah, it does.
We didn't have the corporate communication that comes in your front room every Monday night and lets you know everything going on in the company. We didn't have that. We didn't have all the positive thinking people, all the self-help people all day long feeding us full of good stuff. We didn't have all that. But I want to tell you something right now. I'll bet you all could go out on the street and wait for a car to stop at a stop sign. If their windows roll down, you throw one of those bricks in there as long as your name's on there, and I bet you can have better results than we did. Matter of fact, I'll bet you don't have to wait 6 years to prospect 250 people. You ought to be able to do that in the next 3 to 4 months if you're serious about this business. But let me tell you what it'll do for you. See, out of those 80 that signed up, we only have about 20 of them that are working. We're not very good. But I'm going to tell you something. That's just the way it is. You can't change that. You're going to have about 80, get about 20 going. We have some of our organization come to us and say, you know what? You know, we got 3 or 4 people, they're not doing anything. Man, this ain't working. Well, first thing I tell them, go look in the mirror and you'll see what ain't working. The next thing I tell us, isn't that great? You see, Fran and I have more non-working associates than you do. If you want to make it build what we built, you've got to find you some more that won't do anything. Y'all been getting discouraged and looking at this business wrong. If you go talk to somebody, try to recruit them, they say, I'm not going to do anything. Say, good, I need you. Because see, if you get enough of them, you'll find a few that will, and we only have 6 that have really gone for it. 6. 6. And today our organization, since January 93, has produced somewhere around 190,000 members and 85,000 associates spread across the United States, and we don't even know who they are. We love each and every one of them and hope we get a chance to meet them. But what about you? How soon do you want it? Do you realize we added up our 1099s last year? And we were not able to work the last 5 months of last year, yet checks came in. Why? Because we decided to get a little sense of urgency when we first signed up. And by the way, when we first signed up, we recruited about 15 real fast in the first couple of weeks. So you got to recruit enough of them when you get going to find a few that'll work. If you go out there and get one a month, that ain't going to do it. If you've been procrastinating, do it now. Don't wait. If you read all these articles, magazine articles that are coming out, don't believe us, don't believe Prepaid and Legal, read those articles. They're all telling you that within the next few years, as many people are going to own some form of what we have to offer is covered by medical insurance today, which represents 50 to 70% of the population. You know something else, according to all those articles, that's going to happen with or without any of us in this room. How much of that do you want? How much do y'all want? You see, if you just sit around up in the bleachers and watch this game go by, and you ain't really built something for the next couple of years, you're going to miss this explosion because it is going to happen, period. And you need to get started now to build for that explosion and get as much of that business as you want to. Don't believe us. That's just the way it is. Well, I hope I've said something to spark a little something in somebody's mind tonight that put a little sense of urgency in you. Because, see, that's what this is all about. If I can just get one of you to really get out there and get after it and change your life, it's all been worth it. And I like what Mike Turpin says. I think he said his parents always told him that. You always want to leave that wood pile a little bit higher for the next person. And that's what this business is about. Care about your people. And go through your business with this philosophy, because this is kind of the philosophy we've had. Don't walk in front of us that we may not follow. And y'all don't walk behind us, because you see, we may not lead. But you all walk beside us and be our friend. God bless you all. Thank you.